And welcome back everyone. Now we come to the session, Thailand Strategic Move of the Private Sector. Our panelists this time include Mr. Chartsiri Sophonpanich, President of Bangkok Bank Public Company Limited, Mr. Suphachai Chearavanont, CEO of the Charoen Pokphand Group, and Mr. Thapana Sirivadhanabhakdi, President and CEO of Thai Beverage Public Company Limited. The moderator of this session will be Dr. Pakorn Peetathawatchai, Senior Executive Vice President of the Stock Exchange of Thailand. May I now invite all of the panelists and the moderator on the stage, please.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Stock Exchange of Thailand, it's my honor to welcome you all to this afternoon session, Thailand Strategy Move of Private Sector. First of all, I would like to introduce my panelists here, Kun Suphachai, Kun Thapana, and Kun Chartsiri Sophonpanich. Today, the session would be about the strategic move of the private sector. When we are thinking about the Thai Stock Exchange previously, we used to think that Thai companies are very domestic driven. However, actually nowadays, when we look at the statistic number, we found that for the company that report the source of earning, actually, Thai companies have roughly 47% of their earnings come out from outside of the country. And this number is quite staggering because we never realized that Thai companies actually go beyond and do business outside of Thailand. And here, if you look at this number, also you will notice that it's not just the big company, but all the size of the Thai company, and not just the size, the industry variety is all over. You can see that technology company, services company, resources company, property, industrial, finances, consumer product, or either agro and food industry. All these companies actually have a lot of their earnings come from outside of the country. And if you look at the location, the business location of Thai companies are nowadays all over the world. You can see that most of the companies still go to ASEAN, roughly 155 companies. 116 companies go to CLMV, Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, and Vietnam. And 87 companies go to North Asia. 18 companies go to Australia, and you can see the rest. Today, we have 3 companies that also go abroad. And I don't know how many countries that they are going, but it's going to be not less than 10, not fewer than 10 countries. So my first question is that, to all 3 of you, please tell us the strategy and the business direction of Bangkok Bank, Thai Bev, and the CP Group on how you are seeing the business expansion in the region, in the world, and how would that affect back into the business that you are doing within the country. Thank you.
As you have pointed out, we have seen our customers, for example, the CP Group and the Thai Bev Group, have seen the opportunities in ASEAN and in CLMV and have been expanding their business in the region. The regional integration and the ASEAN Economic Community are at work and make good use of the comparative natural advantage that each country has. So it's a benefit to all the parties involved, namely the capital and the technology from the traditional ASEAN of 5 countries and combined with the national resources and the abundance of the labor of the CLMV. I think that's quite a powerful combination that will bring a lot of prosperity and growth forward. We see a greater integration increasingly in terms of the economic development. And as a result, we see also greater partnership from many of the investing companies together with the local recipients. And the combination of the two will also lead to greater entrepreneurship and higher standard of living. As a consequence, and lead to more demand in the product requirements and consumption, including consumer products, services, as well as the real estate development and so forth, which then bring greater prosperity and better living. I think this is forthcoming and is something that is quite worthwhile. So if you look from the global perspective, from the integrated supply chain movement, many of which Thailand used to benefit from the movement from the four tigers in the 80s and the 90s. And now many of these also moving into the CLMV. At the same time, with the government policy of the Eastern Economic Corridor to move Thailand to be the regional hub for some of these CLMV countries. We also seeing that process happening. And I think that will bring greater, better standard of living, which will benefit everyone involved.
Thank you. Right, very good afternoon to you all. I'm very honored to be among all the distinguished panelists. I would like to share with you about how Thai Bev as a group, we grow our business throughout the region. And perhaps within this 10 minutes, I will share with you on how we see the opportunity within the region. So if you all look back about a decade ago, I'm sure that most of the investors looking across on how each of the local company or regional company will be able to expand across into the key markets. You know, about over a decade ago, we're talking about BRIC countries. But seems that these days, those BRIC countries, Brazil, Russia, India, and China, is not being the top list as we used to participate in before. These days, obviously, we're talking about emerging markets. And if I be able to bring your attention to why emerging markets and why ASEAN. And if you look into ASEAN, why we're talking about Thailand and perhaps even the Thai companies. So within this, I would like to share with you in the last 4 years when we be able to incorporate the business. Because the business we do is in the consumer product and we're in the beverage business. So we're working very closely together with our affiliated companies, such like Fresh and Leaves, based in Singapore and Malaysia. So this just to share with you that since 2014, we're able to come across with the Vision 2020. Basically, you all might surprise why we're talking about the 6 years business plan, because we break it down into 3 years consecutive in a row, so that we can plan and we can dream up, what the second half of the 3-year plan that would be. Now, actually, we're coming very close to the second round, of the 3-year plan. There are 4 key messages today. If you all follow with all the consumers' trend, these days the behavior of all the consumers changed, and definitely with all the technology that we have been using, and that linked to all the business environment that have been changing day to day, and that's why as a company that we have to identify and be able to align all the business objective. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to maneuver and exploit with all the resources that we have within the group. And last bit, if I could share the key statement on how Thai Bev we share across with among all the stakeholders, all the shareholders, that we strive to create and to share the value of growth. So who we are, for some of you, might have known who's Thai Bev. We are breaking down into the spirits product group and the beer product group and the non-alc. So as you'll be able to see that, among our 3 spirits brand that we rank in the top 50 most valuable spirits brand in the world. We also manage the 5 malt distilleries in Scotland. And for the beer, apart from the Chang beer as our flagship brand, we also extended our portfolio to be able to cater to the consumer's need. And for the non-alcoholic beverage, apart from Oshi as the #1 green tea in Thai market, now we're able to expand it across in the region into Singapore, into Malaysia, and elsewhere in the international markets. And as you can see that we collaborate together with our affiliated companies like Vinamilk in Vietnam. And we also very much strive for the role of excellence to be able to increasing or enhancing in our organizational capabilities. As you can see that one of this, we are talking about cost saving. And particularly about cost saving, we are not talking about cost cutting because we would like to innovate with our business process that will be able to be more efficient, more competitive. This just to show you that we've been listed among all the top players in Asia because Thai Bev, we are now from the alcoholic beverage, we enter into the soft drink, dairy, because if you look into the total beverage portfolio within Thai Bev and the group, we cater from soya milk to single malts. And this will be included all the dairy business from China and from Japan as well. So with the revenue, we about $5.4 billion, not to compare much to the Japanese companies, but if you look into the market cap and how we be able to grow the market and be able to commit it into what we've been delivering in terms of our performance, this is how we be able to generate in terms of the market cap about $17.5 billion. This is the number that reflected from the last year's performance because we just changed to the 9 months performance. As you can see, all the double-digit growth, as you can reflect it out into the economy in Thailand and among all the regions that we be able to strike a better balance among all the markets that we are operating in. So we have never been more ready. As you can see that clear targets, clear roadmap, and how we be able to align organizationally and we be able to collaborate throughout among all the team in the various markets. And we have a war team. That's what we call the willing, able, and ready team to be able to move along with our strategy. So talking about the changing behavior of all the consumers, you all know that these days we are also the consumers. We're becoming much, much smarter consumers. There are plenty of choices that we are looking out for. That we're looking for more of the authenticity, originality of the type of the product that we consume or use. So that we are the users of all the brands, and all kind of the products. But you can see in here, this is a world trend. The aging population, global city, urbanization and lifestyle, and that actually linked on into that. That's why Thailand, we're transforming into Thailand 4.0 and talking about the health conscious of all the consumers. Obviously, with the health conscious, with the knowledgeable consumers, and we're talking about the changing lifestyle in terms of social media and all the technology, with the online addiction on how that we're sticking into the information that be able to float into the consumer's mind, in every single minute that we are consuming more and more of the information. And obviously, with the new generation, they're always talking about convenience. You look into this chart that if I may be able to walk you through about why ASEAN. If you're talking about the Thai economy, if we're able to grow at about 3.2%, but you're talking about the average of ASEAN about 4.5%, but you look into the CLMV countries, and actually it's very promising on how the growth of those markets are. So when you ask me how Thai Bev, we're looking into the region, obviously we look into continental ASEAN, CLMV plus T Thailand, and linked to Malaysia and Singapore. That's we are talking about half of the ASEAN population, roughly about 300 plus over people, million people, 300 plus over million people. And if you're talking about in terms of demographic, the age, because Thai market we're becoming the aging society. So actually that we tapped into, the fattest, the growing market in the region, like in Vietnam or in Myanmar. Actually, they have much younger population to be able, to sustain your business in the years to come. And just to show in the beverage sector, you can see it through glimpsely that why we're talking about the Thailand as one of the key markets. Because this I compare you with the market size by value and also by volume. If you look into Thailand, the volume of the beverages consumed is about 27 billion liter per year. But you look in terms of the value, it's about 31 billion. Can you look into the Indonesian market? It's basically that volume is much larger, almost double the size at 53 billion liter per year. But when you're talking about the size of the market by value, that's only about 21 billion. So what it tells you about this slide is basically that each of the market has the distinctive or the opportunities. Because in Indonesia, most of the beverages consumed are the non-alcoholic beverages. As you can see, the 94%. And that's less value or much more competitive. And when I'm talking about Thai Bev strive to becoming a stable and sustainable ASEAN leader, I'm not talking about 600 over million people. I'm talking about half of the world population. Why is that? Because obviously with the ASEAN plus, ASEAN plus 3, ASEAN plus 6, ASEAN plus 9. And actually the plus 9 is included US, Canada, and Mexico. And basically across all the ASEAN plus, they actually bring close to half of the world population. And this is what I can show you that Thai Bev as a group, we cannot be complacent and looking into throughout the regions that actually the international company, multinational companies, they are moving in, comparing to Diageo, Pernod Ricard, AB InBev, and all the Japanese brewers, they're also participating in the opportunity and the growth of ASEAN. And this is why we need to adapt and to grow and to focus. So these are the three key elements on how we look into the growth platform that we are working on. So if you look into these strategic imperatives that we break down into 5 key strategic imperatives that we need to strive for growth, need to embrace all the diversities, and we focus into our brands. Because surprisingly, if you look across into all the consumer products, into the ASEAN companies, we used to be just an OEM, but now we are focusing more on how we be able to build the ASEAN brand, or if not the Asian brands. So these are the opportunities that we need to focus on. And the reach is exactly with what Khun Pakorn has mentioned, and the opportunities that we're creating throughout the physical infrastructure that we will link in, especially into the continental ASEAN, all the roads that we will link, if not to the high-speed train, and many other of the low-cost airlines that now are much better connected. So in terms of reach, it links to the logistic and the distribution that we are talking about. And last bit is about professionalism and how we strive for the human capital, the development, and the IT and the system that actually can provide much efficiencies and competitiveness within the group. So look into how we be able to establish as we defend and be able to premiumize our product portfolio and be able to sustain the growth momentum in the particular brands and be able to expand our key core brands in particular market. Some of you may be surprised, the brand like 100 Plus is actually launched when F&N celebrated 100 years. And this is about 34 years already. And it gained market share more than Coca-Cola in Malaysia. And this is what we are focusing on, that we be able to build the brand of the ASEAN brands, if not the Asian brands, for the world consumers. I wouldn't walk through with other human capital or the supply chain management and the IT and also the finance, because it's also very important on how we keep our discipline, sticking to the financial discipline that we always practicing. So I'll come to the very last bit on this is the platform, how we would like to grow the business and strive to becoming a stable and sustainable ASEAN leader with these 4 key messages that we need to understand the changing consumer behavior and need to adapt into the new business environment. And obviously, internally to identify and align all the key business objectives. And not only just that, but we also looked out on how to be able to create and to share the value of growth among our stakeholders. So that is the direction on how ThaiBev would like to pursue our growth towards Vision 2020.
Thank you very much, Kun Thapana. It looked very interesting in that Kun Thapana showed us a lot of idea and vision and objective and the strategy how to achieve that. I will get back to Kun Chartsiri on. Kun Thapana mentioned something on infrastructure. And I always deem that the financial system is another infrastructure. I will get back to ask you, Kun Chartsiri, more about that. But before that, would you mind if I ask Kun Suphachai to give us a few thoughts on the CP Group also? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Again, I would like to start by going through the 4.0 economy in the point of view of the CP Group. First of all, I would like to thank you, the government, the Thai government, who have been certainly very supportive and have these visions, and who are also aggregating how the private sector could participate in, for the country, growth and positioning. This is through the public-private partnership. This allows us to also see even clearer how our business group should position. Also would like to thank you, Bangkok Bank, Kun Chartsiri, who have been a great supporter to the CP Group. And this is how we grow up until now. Having certainly ThaiBev Group, who also very much inspire how they are growing their business, and we have been learning a lot from ThaiBev as well. How we see the 4.0 economy is that certainly we are an agro-based company moving from agricultural, as you all know, and then going into industrialization. So we could call ourselves a real industrialist. A lot of people call CP Group capitalists. But in fact, we are industrialists, okay? And certainly in the third, economy, the third economy, a lot of flow in terms of capitals, which allow also our group to expand, outside of Thailand, and how we be able to get support from the financial system around the world. The 4.0, in our point of view, represented the true connectivities that are happening throughout the world now. Usually when we talk about 4.0 industry, people related the industry to automation plus connectivity. And that's what are linking the whole world together through connectivity and digitizations. So you could call it a real information age. Okay. But it's also come with a people. We call them startup entrepreneurs, digital entrepreneurs, innovators. People become even more key to how the economy and the company itself developed, and how we are shifting our human resource from the 2.0 and 3.0 to prepare for the 4.0. So for example, we foresee that the people with the engineering and IT background under the group should shift. Instead of from now about 20% of the people are in IT and engineers, But 5 years from now, we look to shift it around. So 80% of the people should have the IT and engineering background, one way or the other, or we have to train them. Okay. And the third point, how we see the 4.0 moving, is that the world are asking for a change or leading in change of sustainabilities. How private sectors all around the world addressing sustainabilities. How we are doing our business to deliver the triple bottom lines. So these are how we see the 4.0 for CP Group. CP Group have about 8 streams of business groups, and many of them are already expanded around the world. Those are agro and food, retail and distributions, telecom and media, pharmaceuticals, property development, automotive and parts, e-business, and finance and investment. In the past 2 years, CP Group have been more aggressive in investment and acquisitions. So this is, again, the evolution into the 4.0, where we have to invest in the technology and into acquiring more market. CP Group today have around 45 billion in turnover, and we are managing a business worth around 75 billion under our whole group. How in the bigger picture, how the world are changing, we can toward 4.0. We can look at the top 5 companies in the world. Most of them are in the United States. So throughout the years, from 2001, you can see a mixture of oil, banking, and then continue to be so. Until in the past 5 years, you start seeing that the top 5 companies in the world are digital platform players. From Apple's, Alphabet, Microsoft, Amazon, Facebook. So you can see that actually the landscape of the economy are changing and shifting. So the country itself, as Thailand, a company like CP Group and all company in the regions actually have to make our change as well. Otherwise, our traditional business will be disrupted. Sorry. Now, if you look at how Thailand would transform, you can see that first there are disruptive technology, as we all know. Okay, digital technology, biotechnology. Now everything is about genomes, the food, medications, and it's all about genomes. Robotic technology, nanotechnology. This technology are being enhanced, between each other. Not only that, each of them contribute to a lot of disruptive industry. Now, then you see a clear ripples effect in the disruptive industry, such as media versus digital media. This year actually, the digital media's revenue have just surpassed the traditional media for the first time. And traditional media, who used to be broadcasters, in the world, say around 3,000 operators or service providers. But for digital media, the winner takes all. Only 2 brands take 70% of the market. You know who they are. Okay. And retail business disrupted by the e-commerce. We have to, even though we are operating a convenience store, we have to look at how we shift and change ourselves. You're looking at the banking industry now facing the fintech. Everyone is looking to disrupt the banking industry, especially from the digital platform industry. Automotive, a big shift is coming in EV and the battery technology, renewable energy, so on and so forth. So this is actually coming into our face, and it will be a real change. How the country like Thailand and how the ASEAN regions would evolve with this disruption and change. In fact, we can even leap forward. We can actually skip some of the, 2.0 or 3.0. Okay. In terms of IT itself, everything now is going cloud-based platform, cloud technology, big data, analytics. So this is a big shifting all over, and we see it through our eyes. So what happened is that informations, which actually have deep understanding of the customer journeys, business process. This is through big data. So anyone who cannot catch on with this understanding, or more or less you can call it digitizations and analytics, every company, every industries, then you are more or less expect to be losing out. And probably a new business will be born to replace many of the businesses. Third is how the old industry transform. This is also very important. And I think the government are doing a very good job in trying to create the right awareness and incentive for the industry to transform through digitization. Now, again, as also executive chairman of the telecom operator, now we can see a lot of big and medium-sized clients are shouting for how we transform, how we are digitizing ourselves. So we are actually, as a Thai citizen, I'm very happy about that, to see that the awareness have been awakened by the government. And the company, big or small, are moving to a digitization. Applying disruptive technology, or those 4 disruptive technology, how we invest into technology, and the government are promoting the startup. The company are investing more in startup, not only in Thailand, but throughout the region, or even some case around the world. The different group of companies are forming corporate VCs, for example. So I think this is, again, a lot of credits to the government. And the last but not least is the education. In fact, at the end of the day, whether or not we have the right resource or human resource to cope with the change. And this doesn't have to be, people from just Thailand, but even around the region and around the world. So we know that the growth in market demand will shift more and more toward ITs and engineers and innovators. We can see that through our, recruitment and payroll, even today. Growth in we call it the digital entrepreneurs, okay, where people actually need much less capital to get into the businesses. And there are, and also, ecosystem that allow this to happen, like all the venture funds and others. Growth in the service industry. So people always say that if a lot of automation and robotic will replace all the labors, so, are we going to go into the unemployment? But the thing is that the more machine, the more Internet of all things, all of this happens, there will be 1,000 times more, or even 10,000 times more number of, equipments per people. So at the end of the day, people will need to know how to manage all these equipments or innovate new technology. But at the same time, the productivity will increase. So hopefully with the inclusiveness of the economy, the distributions of the wealth could happen. And this is, again, under the 4.0 sustainability. With this inclusiveness, actually, we could see that in the near future, people will service each other more. People will travel more. So the service industry will actually get bigger and bigger. The hospitality industry will get bigger and bigger. This is how we see things. I'm sorry. So in terms of how a private sector like ourselves look at the Thailand strategy, we feel that, again, the economic zoning, being a hub for certain tech industry that we have the strength in, is very key. And the government, this present government, is doing just that. In terms of the tech industry, the EEC, Eastern Economic Corridors, how we encourage the new tech industry, those disruptive technology to be invested in Thailand to set the course of the Thai economy and how we actually be able to contribute to the regions. Trade and finance, I think Thailand is a very strategically, geographically, is very well positioned to be in the trade. In fact, as we all know, our airport actually is the busiest one in the world, just surpassed London airport, for example. Very natural geographically, so that's the area that we should be enhancing. Tourism, okay, that's a tick for sure. And agro and food, we just need to actually, step forward and transform ourselves to be in more of the 4.0, which I would talk a little bit more. Education and innovation hubs. Okay, we are good in the agro, so the bio-food and biomedicals are the area that we should be focused in, and we are actually focused in that. Nanotechnology, certainly already some of the state enterprise are already working on it. Robotics, evolving from the automotive industry, shifting into robotic is very natural. Digital technology, this is one of the, again, we are the second largest users of Facebook in this region, aside from Japan, and also alliance and all that. So the culture is very open and theirs. Space technology is one very far away, but again, one should not take that out from the list. That's how we see how the government should support and incentivize not only for the Thai investors or operators, but the internationals, regionals levels, how they actually can use Thailand as a base for their research and development in the tech area. So the education system in Thailand have to support that as well. And recently, the minister have more or less opened up the universities that the foreign universities can actually now invest in Thailand and not being in a closed system anymore. And third is the agro industry. You see, Thailand problem is that 1/3 of the population are still in the 1.0 agricultural area. They are still smallest business units like farmers who own 15 or 20 rights of land. They are still very much labor-based. Thailand have been very stagnant in transforming itself from 1.0 to 2.0 and the 3.0. And now we start talking about smart farming, which is 4.0. But the key is that not to have this so-called digital divide or the division in inequality. The agricultural sector will have to be transformed as well. And Thailand is now approaching aging societies. Most of the farmers are over 50 years old. So within 10 years time frame, all these farmers would be in aging, and the productivities in this area will drop. So the concept of renewing co-ops, the concept of social enterprise, I think Khun Num will talk about that later on as well. The concept of an inclusiveness or partnership-based contract farming, okay, have to be in place. The fundings for the new generations, farmers, okay, who actually manage large farmings, and or zoning farm would have to be formed. This is again one of the key awareness of the present government. I will talk more in the next sessions on education.
Let me get back to Khun Chartsiri again, because from what we hear now, Khun Suphachai discuss a lot more about the opportunity. We can see that there will be a lot of development in new things. There will be a lot of use of the financial technology. Where could we get the funding for all those things that we want to do? The banking system in the past used to be the source of funding together with the capital market and fixed income market in providing the funding for the business, the traditional business. In the past, the customer might behave one way, but nowadays, the customer behavior changed, the technology changed, there are so many things that change. How would the banking system cope with that? And it's not just for the local, not just for Thailand, but now we are talking about the opportunity in the region, in the global market. How would Bangkok Bank react? How would the Thai banking system should react?
As Dr. Pakorn has pointed to us in the earlier presentation about how now many of the Thai listed companies have earned their income from their regional and international operation, and has also shown by Kun Thapana and Kun Suphachai of their respective business groups that has been quite well integrated. They have been the pioneer of their internationalization over the years. And if we go on the same that logic of the globalization and the regionalization, the two major driving forces that we are seeing at the moment is the relocation of the supply chain of the manufacturing base, and the other is also the prosperity of each of the local economy. These are the two major driving forces that propel investment as well as the requirements of each of the economy. When we look at Vietnam, for instance, we see that many companies have relocated their facilities in Vietnam, Thailand, for example, in the garment, in the textile, in the electronic related, and obviously both of the two groups here in the agricultural sector and in the retail sector. It reflects the increasing demand of the local requirements. We also see many new entrepreneurs in the local market in Vietnam, and entrepreneurship is also quite strong, which our branch network also provides support to them. In Cambodia, for instance, we also see joint venture of some Thai company with a local entrepreneur in, say, in the cement business, for example, which is also in high demand for the infrastructure and construction requirement. In Laos, with their natural resources abundant in water and in coal, so we see many of the hydroelectric dam as well as the coal power plants have been installed and built up over the years, and many of the Thai companies also have their joint venture with the local partners there. And the interconnectivity of the power usage within the region from China, Vietnam, and Thailand into Laos is also quite a good example. In Myanmar, we see that many of the Thai companies making investment in Myanmar in terms of manufacturing as well as supply the consumption, meeting the consumption requirement. But at the same time, we also see many of the local business people in different groups also have their own aspiration and also try to build up their group base in various areas, which I think so the regional development is moving in many sense in a similar pattern, of course shortened by the process of what both Kun Suphachai and Kun Thapana talking about, moving from 1 to 2 to 3 and 4, and some of these they shorten process and move all into 4.0, but some of them also still need to go for the basic industries. In Indonesia, with many of the infrastructure projects undertaken by the government, especially in the energy sector, you could see that many of our Thai companies, energy companies, make movement into Indonesia and also have local joint venture with the energy-related sector, whether in the power side or whether in the geothermal related area. The same thing happening in the Philippines. Some of our Thai companies in the hospitality also build up their hotel bases in the Philippines, in the resort area, for instance. I think At the same time, we also have the regional customers moving more in the region. We see more movement from northern China area, for whether Taiwan, China, and Hong Kong, apart from Japan and Korea, also moving more into Southeast Asia and create more business opportunities. So the regionalization is really taking shape in a significant manner, in a well-integrated manner, as you have demonstrated. The financial sector is also moving similarly, and in many sense, the Thai financial system also has gone through, and will also be going through many of the transformation. But at the moment, on the net basis, you could see that we are also a net saving country, unlike some 20, 30 years ago, which we were basically a net borrowing country. And the sophistication that the Bank of Thailand, Ministry of Finance, together with the SEC, Thai SEC, have developed over the years, so developed many sophistication of the form of the saving as well as the instrument, whether in direct form of deposit, in various forms of the investment instruments, through debt instrument, mutual fund, as well as the equity market. So, and even in more structured form, like the SPV type. So I think Thailand can also help our neighboring country, especially for CLMV, to meet their requirements in terms of the fundraising, whether through credit market from commercial banks, or whether through the capital markets from the debt and equity market, and other forms of instrument through the mutual fund or the REIT structure and so forth. I think the securitization process would also be another way that would also help meet the requirements of our neighboring countries. The other aspect is also on the Eastern Economic Corridor that the government has been initiating, and that is quite an important part to transform Thailand to another level and to be the logistic hub of the region, and serving the CLMV, especially the upper part of the ASEAN economic community. This part in the long term is also dovetailed quite well with the Belt and Road Initiative of China, which basically link Asia and Europe and different parts of the countries involved together. So in the longer term basis, 10, 20-year perspective, this will also be quite significant in bringing greater integration. So both on the physical side as well as on the virtual side, which eventually will be quite a significant factor coming, as Kun Suphachai has shown to us.
Thank you very much. I think at the moment, if we look at the infrastructure that we need to build up the business, both locally and outside of the country, we can say that there are at least three things that we need to do: the financial side, the financial infrastructure side, the technology side, and the people side. Now let me get into this private partnership participation, or the thing that we call PPP here, because three of our panelists here are head of each issue. I think Kun Chartsiri is heading on the investment attraction, Kun Thapana heading on the grassroots development, and Kun Suphachai heading on the people development. So if I may ask, what do you see would be the strategy that you would like to push so that the economy would be able to accommodate the new growth that we plan for? If I may, I would like to start with Kun Thapana first, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much. For the Pacharat initiative that I tasked to be responsible for is called E3. In Thai, we named it as Pacharat Raksamaki. It's the form of a social enterprise that are newly set up since the year of 2016 with the kind support from all the Thai corporates, and definitely with the support from the Royal Thai government to provide with all the support for the community-based development that I'm working directly together with the Minister of Interior, especially into the Community-Based Development Department of Director General Apichat. What I can share with you broadly for you to understand on how we are doing this initiative. For the product that many of you would know as OTOP. OTOP products actually generating with all the income for the villagers and has been accumulated all the revenue by the Community-Based Development Department. As I could give you some of the figure, for the year 2015, there was about 109 billion Thai baht. But it grew for the year 2016, 220 billion Thai baht. Why this figure important is because if you look into the Thai GDP, it's about 13 trillion. It's actually accounted roughly about just 1%. But these all the villagers that got the privilege to waive all the income tax. So basically, if you look whether or not you're comparing to about 109 billion to grow to 120 billion, more than 10%. If you're comparing to the growth of all the community-based the economy, which all the OTOP products. This is how we as the Thai corporates, all together with the civil society and many foundation, many institutions actually that are coming and help to support, and it links to the academy as well. I probably cannot share the details with you all, but some of those information actually I get to provide it, many of you with the hard copy of the ThaiBev sustainability report. If you're interested more, please log into the information that we uploaded in YouTube called Pacharat or E3. But most of the information is still very much in Thai, and that's what we share all together with the APEC Business Advisory Council on how we can help to develop with the community-based the economy. In short, I would say that this is the value of all Asian. And if you look into the Thai people in particular, we have the sense of caring, the sense of giving on what we can contribute it back into the communities that we involved in. And this is the task to us all to help support and bring the general of the group of people to actually be able to catch up. As Suphachai mentioned about the Industrial 4.0, he's basically mentioned about 23 over million people as a farmers on how they can have high income, be able to enjoy a better standard of living, and obviously be able to access into education, and if not, into the financing in terms of the startup and other businesses that they're involved in. So this is rather an ongoing project. So I cannot say on what is the exact outcome, because it's the responsibility for all the Thais, if not only for the Thai corporates.
Thank you very much. Actually, the reason that I asked about this public-private partnership is that, in my opinion, this is a concept of sustainability development. It's not just that the company want to have the profit in the short term, but now the company have in their DNA to build up a long-term business and generate the benefit to the society. And certainly there would be a positive feedback back into the corporate or itself in the performance in the future. And now, if I may, I would like to move to on the technology side, on the people development that this PPP has been doing.
Technology is part of it, and again, I'm heading the Pacharat PPP, we call E5, which is on basic education and leadership development. In fact, under this Pacharat, we formed so-called Connect ED, consists of 12 founding members or top conglomerate in Thailand in each industry, including BBL and Thai Bev Group. We are working together, by toward the goals of the 10 transformations. There are altogether 10 transformations here. I would only go through 4 of them, which are very crucial. Okay. First is transparency. So establishing the KPI, which are measurables, together with the Ministry of Education for each school under the Pacharat program, which is now 3,300 schools. And our gearing is toward 7,000 schools in all the 7,000 Tambon districts area. So to put things into context, one Tambon is about 10,000 households. Okay. With establishing the KPIs, we wanted to also put up with the incentive. So we formulate so-called the funding structure, so that we work with the school headmaster or school principal toward their plan of how they measure themselves. You can call this somewhat, a semi kind of privatizations, or things are still under the same context, under the educations, but the management philosophy is more toward competitions, measurable goals. So more like how private sectors are running the business. Again, maybe this might sound familiar with how the Chinese run their country. Okay, so that's the first very important basic fundamental, transparency of the information. The second part is the market mechanism. The schooling system in Thailand are only good if the market believes that education is most important or very important for the country itself. So engagement of all the stakeholders, and in this case the PPP worked very well at the national level, and now we are going down to the stakeholdings level in the locals area. And the structure have to be more decentralized. Once you have the transparencies and the KPIs, the management structure, instead of the ministry dictating what books to be used, for example, in the future, the school should be the one who pick what books to be used or what textbooks to be used. Yeah, maybe there are range that are qualified, but they're the one who pick it. Okay, that's for example. Now, to make the change and the transformation for the education or the school system in Thailand, everyone knows that it will need leadership. So, part of the Connect ED programs, if I may go to the other slide, is actually we recruited the young volunteers throughout all these 12 founding members. Altogether 700, actually thousands of volunteers, but we have to qualify them as a young management or young executives, young leaders within the group. Under this program is more like a leadership development program, but they have to partner with the school. So in ratio, one person partner 3 school principals, so that we work with them to see, how can we plan out and build the roadmap and work together between private sectors and the school, the public school. Okay, so this is a very important step of how we engage, the whole market mechanism, and how we engage the private sector who actually have the platform for vocational school. Okay, who have the platform for professions, for businesses, big or medium-sized, small businesses, for the younger generation to be able to learn early, during their, primary school or high schools. So how can we actually connect and collaborate between private sectors, institutions that have the know-how and knowledge, and also core values to share with the younger generations. And the number 4 point is child-centric. Now, in this sense, we are working toward more, again, understanding and having the information of the children, and the information on their journey and their status. Again, this is going into big data and analytics to really understand how we treat each students, understand we actually identify the potential of the children. Now, if you can identify the potential and give them the confidence of one thing that they can do well, statistic-wise, they will improve in every other subjects matter. So this is very key for our educational reform. Action-based learning. So in fact, we are the same. We usually only learn about 10 or 20% at most from teaching. But 80 to 90% of how we learn, how the children learn, is through the actions, projects, and through the action of the adults. We are under the assumption that all students are born genius. And if they are not smart, it's because of the adult. That's a sad truth, but this is true. And the third point is to keep them on track and with the motivation to study and accomplish. We need to work early in terms of their future planning, in terms of how they actually dreams and setting goals in their lives. And also create so-called role models in the locals area. It is important to be very tangible for the younger generations, for them to see that, that guy, that entrepreneur who succeed, in coming from the same tambon or the same village, okay, are succeeding in life, and he's doing well, whether they're working for a company like BBL or company like Thai Bev, or being an entrepreneur himself, owning the business. So those are the very, very key areas, 4 areas. There are others part, but it will take too much time.
Thank you very much. Now let me move back to Kun Chartsiri on the last issue on this PPP on the attractiveness. How can we get the attractive investor to join and invest in Thailand, and also on the infrastructure that we plan to do?
Actually, before that, I also would like to make a remark to both of them, both Kun Suphachai and Kun Thapana, on their respective projects. In many respects, these 2 projects move into the local area, local community, which in many sense is to address their needs and their requirements. One on the education, one on the cultural tourism and local business activities. In many sense, it's also a long-term investment to create greater stability of the society, which we are also seeing problems in the US and in Europe. So in many respects, these 2 projects are quite fundamental for the long-term stability for the country, to their credits in initiating the projects. As far as the one that and other private sector involved is in the how to make country more attractive in making investment. And one particular area is, as you also pointed out, the importance of the infrastructure projects. And these infrastructure projects will require huge investment and will be quite critical for both Thailand and also for the region. So the public-private partnership structure is an important part. So we've been in discussion, and the government has taken significant initiatives on different aspects of how to make these or change many of the rules and the practices in Thailand to more of the international practice in order to make it possible for more private sectors to come involved in the public project. At the same time, create structured in such a way that the risk sharing can be structured and tailored according to the requirements of the project. There's certain area that the public side can do better in terms of risk taking because of the authorities and the regulations. On the other hand, there are certain areas that the private side can be more effective because of the efficiency in terms of project management and operations. So these are things that the Ministry of Finance, together with other economic planning agencies, working at the moment, which we probably will be seeing more and more. And the Eastern Economic Corridor is probably one area where they probably try some of these concepts. I think over the next 2 years, we will see more of these coming, and I think it will be quite a significant part and good transformation for Thailand in terms of the infrastructure and other large-scale projects to be able to move forward and attract private sector to come in.
Thank you. I think we all agree that it's not that often that we will hear the leader of the business organization talk about both the business plan, the opportunity to grow, and also social development. And today we have heard all about this. I would like all of us to thank all the panelists here today for their inside information and their thought and their contribution. Thank you very much.